Good morning, everyone. I hope that we have a few more people trickling in. I know people are admiring the pumpkin contest. Yes. Well, this morning, I am usually in the most chipper mood, but I have been glued to the news and emergency updates on my son's college website. The shootings in Lewiston, Maine, have the state of Maine on lockdown. And, my heart goes out to the families of the victims and those who have been injured. As many of you know, my son, he attends Bowdoin College, which is 20 minutes away from Lewiston, and the alleged shooter lived in a town about 10 minutes away. And because the shooter has not been apprehended, the campuses in the colleges and the entire town, the entire state is really on lockdown. And if any of you visited Maine, you understand how easy it is to hide in Maine. It's lots of forest, lots of islands that are pretty remote. And so as of this morning, the alleged shooter is still at large. And so I just want to say life is precious. And I'd like you to repeat that with me. Life is precious. We have to say it aloud and we have to say it often to remind people, because with all of the senseless violence going on in the world, it seems like people have forgotten. And so let us at Horizon House just radiate positivity to help counter all of the negativity that is happening right at this moment. And so I'm going to move on to the agenda, but I just wanted to open it just with, having everyone think positive thoughts and, sharing your positivity and really, saying it often. Life is precious. You never know who you may really touch by saying that aloud. Thank you. And so today our agenda is full as always. Instead of Celerina this morning, we're going to have Javon do the new staff introductions. Valerie and Andrew are going to introduce our new residents. We're going to have a safety and security update by Brian. We're going to have a resident experience update by Amanda. It'll be her first time presenting to this group on resident experience. Our dining services updates will be brought to you by Jeff. And then Joan is going to give some communications updates. And then we're going to have residence council updates with Deanna and Sally. And then I'm going to close us out with bright spots and some question and answers. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Javon.
Good morning. Oh, it's so good to see all your beautiful faces. I'm Javon. I'm the recruiter here at Horizon House. And as Erica just announced, I'm going to go over some new staff introductions. So we have, help, how do we go back? There we go. Uh-oh. There we go. And there we go. All right. So we have Christine Sullivan. She's a new elder care LPN here. We have Dean, who's a new dishwasher, and Steve Pereira, our new security officer overnight. And, well, I guess we can give it up real quick for our new hires. And we have some anniversaries that we want to announce. A big shout out to Beth back there for 10 years of service here at Horizon House. Woo! And another big shout out to Eli for 5 years of service here at Horizon House. All right, and next I'm gonna hand it over to Valerie for new resident introductions. Or Andrew. Yes, I know.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. It's nice to see everybody this morning. I'm not Valerie, but I'll try and do a good job for you. Today, we're going to introduce a couple of residents, and then we have a couple more, but we're going to wait a little bit so we can learn a little bit more about them. Whoops, look at me go so fast. All right, so first, today we have Gary and Randy. Are you here today? There you are. Raise your hands. Gary was born in Everett and earned his BA in communications from the University of Washington, and he's worked as an accountant. He belongs to the University of Washington Alumni Association. He's a volunteer with the Seattle Architecture Foundation and emeritus board member for the Fifth Avenue and ACT Theaters. And he's interested in reading and travel. And I know from my short time knowing him, they travel a lot. Welcome to Horizon House. Randy was born in Vancouver, and he attended the University of Washington also, where he earned his business and master's degree in architecture. And he serves on a wide variety of boards. Randy's interested in architecture, theater, travel, food and design, and he's written and guided many architectural tours throughout the city. So welcome, both of you. Next, we have Karen and Bill Augusta. Are they here today? There they are in the back. We've talked a lot on the phone. We haven't had a lot of face-to-face. No, you're not. She's not here. Okay. Karen, we'll start with his wife. Karen was born in New Haven, Connecticut, and has lived in a lot of places. Virginia, Massachusetts, Illinois, California, New England, New York, Germany, and most recently, a beautiful home in Friday Harbor. She earned her BA from Wellesley College. Thank you for whoever shouted that out for me. And worked as a publishing executive in New York. And her husband, Bill, born in Dallas, Texas, also lived in a variety of places in the United States and abroad. He earned his BA from Rice Institute and a PhD from Harvard. He has conducted research in organic photochemistry, mammalian pheromones, and is an assistant professor at Rockefeller University. He remains interested in chemistry, along with affordable housing and foreign affairs. Welcome, Bill, and your wife, Karen. Thank you. And next, we are going to have Brian Holtz come up and talk to us about something that never gets old.
Thank you, Andrew. Did Andrew call me old? No, he didn't. This is true. These are some reminders that we've heard before, but it doesn't get old on mentioning these reminders for us all. We had an all staff meeting and we went over these with the staff as well. So it's important that we remind everybody that we do have ADA doors here, right? We have one over here by the Myrtle Edwards room in the library. We have down on E level those doors that are a little slower to open and close for us. And so it's just a reminder that we have those for those of us that need those, and to please wait until they close for us behind so that we make sure that the building's secure. Similarly, our garage doors, that if we're driving out of Terry Garage, we wait until we drive away before making sure somebody doesn't scoot in that we don't want here. And so we remind staff of those as well. Our main lobby, as I have mentioned before, we quite some time ago, we installed card reader out there so you can use your card key to enter that exterior main door at the main lobby. We actually made an adjustment because folks may or may not remember that there had been times where you would approach that exterior door and the motion sensor would just automatically open. Well, we don't want that. And so we've made an adjustment so that that won't happen. However, the way those doors are designed, that if they're still moving and you approach them, the motion sensor will open. But if the door is fully closed, we ask that you use your card key to open that door. The interior door also has a card reader as well on that main entrance vestibule. If the reception staff are busy taking care of one of your neighbors or is on the phone and they don't happen to see you, as a reminder, you can do that on the interior door as well. At the all-staff meeting, we reminded staff, and I sent out a memo to our contractors to remember to wear our name badges, and thank you for a number of residents that are wearing yours as well. We remind staff and all of us that if we see somebody without some kind of identification, that we empower ourselves to say, do you in a way, do you belong here, or do you know where you need to go, or is there something that you can do if you see somebody without one, is let the reception center know. They are excellent staff up there. They know exactly what to do. They will get a hold of me or somebody, and we can certainly follow up. And so we're reminding folks on that as well. And again, if you ever lose your apartment key, let the front desk know as soon as possible, and we'll take care of whatever we need to do to ensure that key is no longer functional for you, but we need them to know. Again, those staff are trained excellent. They know exactly what to do. They'll let me and whomever know, and we'll take care of that to make sure that that key is not in the wrong hands, that it won't get them into the building. As you see Eli talking about master plans and a lot of changes that we're doing, at some point that lobby will be renovated and changed. And we are certainly looking at how can we enhance that space to perhaps bring the desk closer to the door, or in a way that will be by design help us to make it better than it is today. So be assured that those are in the conversations, and we are looking at that. And now that Amanda is in the fold at the reception center, her brilliant ideas will help us as we continue to move the needle in making that area better for us. And if you see something that looks out of the normal, then certainly let the reception center know. Again, I'm going to sound like repeating that they know exactly who to talk to. The other thing is there was a couple questions that came to me about, gosh, we recently had Siemens doing some fire confidence testing in our building, and a few folks weren't sure exactly what to do if there was a fire or something in our building like that. Well, the good news is that in the back of your directory, there is information on a number of emergencies and preparedness things that you can do. So that is a great resource for you, aside from picking up the phone and giving me a call, that you can always look in the back of the directory for that information. In addition to that, we have our annual Employee and Resident Safety Fair coming up on November 7th in the Anderson Hall here. We actually collaborate with Human Resources, and part of that is benefits fair. So some of that activity that day will just be for staff, and you'll be amazed at how Human Resource has just a tremendous amount of vendors here to show the wonderful benefits for our staff. But for you residents, we have the safety fair. So come and join us for that. The Resident Safety Committee will be there to have some information for you as well. So it's another example of how we collaborate with the committees to have that. So there'll be a number of things that we will have at the safety fair. You can buy emergency kits. I'm coordinating for you to get emergency water. I need to nail down the exact price for those who have been here before. And so we'll have those available for you on November 7th. The other thing that I periodically like to do reminders on are other things surrounding safety. And so we do have a system in our building called our care, and that is what your pendant is that you have when you first move in. You have a pendant, and it may look like a necklace or a wristband that you see on the screen. And those pendants are programmed to your name, and then we know what apartment number it is. And so when those are activated, they transmit a signal to, on the screen, you can see it looks like a little white box, and you'll see those on the walls throughout the community. And those will send a message to those receivers to let us know the location of the receiver that got the pendant activation. And staff respond based upon where that receiver gives us an address. Is it near your apartment? So then we'll call your apartment. If it's in the common areas, then we'll go to the common areas and look for the resident that has activated their pendant. The other part of our care system, as you've seen these before, are the pull cords. Those are actually programmed to a very specific location, and there's one in every bathroom of your apartment, in the common area bathrooms, and other areas of the community. When those are activated by pulling the string, the system in our care that sends a signal to the reception center will tell us the exact location so that we can respond to that exact location. If it's in your apartment, we'll call your apartment to see if somebody needs assistance. And then lastly, there's a motion detection portion of our care. And the way that works is we have it set up near the main restroom, bathroom of your apartment. And if the system does not detect activity or motion over a 12-hour period, the reception center gets a report every day, and they follow up on that report and would call your apartment to see if you're okay. If not, then we'll do a welfare check. So that is an overview of the R Care system. However, on November 28th, I will be having a personal safety forum where I can go in more detail about this system, among many other things that has to do with you and your personal safety. Another aspect that we'll touch base on is the vial of life. And what do you do if you do need help for any kind of medical or other emergency you may have? We'll touch base on safety in the city. We'll talk about DPOA reminders that you should all be thinking about, the grab and go bag, and then we'll touch base on visitors and safety for safety in the community. So that's coming up on November 28th. I will have reminders in the alert and the other areas where Emily helps me get the word out on those. So with that, I'm shifting it over to Amanda, which is super exciting to have her talk about your experience, the resident experience that she's going to be well equipped to help us enhance.
Good morning. It's nice to see you guys and be here as Horizon House's first ever Director of Resident Experience. I've met one-on-one with a few folks who have asked, what the heck is that? And what does that mean to me? But just really briefly, it's customer experience. If someone said, I'm the Director of Customer Experience, you'd probably know exactly what that means. As residents, you're our customers here. And so we want to make sure that we're providing you with the service that you expect, the service that you deserve at any touch point around the community. So my direct responsibilities will be the reception desk and also the salon, which is kind of fun. But as you all know, the reception desk seems to be the hub of all information here. So making sure that that team is well informed and capable of answering any questions or any needs that you may have. And then also working with the other departments just to make sure that we have norms in place to meet your expectations. Right now, I will say I'm just learning about the salon. I'm learning about the reception desk. So it's kind of a slow start, an intro into the position, but you'll probably see more of me at venues like this where I'm providing feedback or asking for your feedback, doing small group sessions. When I worked as transition manager for assisted living, I tried to have weekly time in the Fireside Lounge just to be there to meet with people and talk to them, answer questions about assisted living. I'd like to continue that tradition in this role, just to be there. So you guys are welcome to always come and see me. I do say, yeah, open door policy. I have gotten dinged to say that I'm never in my office because I do like to walk around. So by all means, so grab me if you need me. In the coming weeks, I think, right, Beth, we're going to be doing the resident experience survey again. And Erica will go over the details later, but that'll be something that I'll take a larger role in reviewing as well. And so when we get the results from that, being able to build an actionable plan from there. Good to be here. If you need me, call me, find me. I sit behind the reception nook, kind of close to Joan and Risa. So when you go in the main desk, you kind of cut to the right and to the back, and that's where I am. All right. I look forward to working with you all more closely. And if you need any assisted living questions, you're always welcome to come to me on that too. I still have a huge passion for Horizon House Assisted Living and the team up there. Take care. Who's next? Not even dining. Jeff.
Thanks, Amanda. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Let's see. All right. Well, one, just like I always do, start off with some nice pictures from some of our past events. Last week of September there, we did Oktoberfest, and Oliver once again knocked some displays out of the park with that. So, luckily those beers didn't get, disappeared and drinking during the shift, but, we had a really nice display there. The event was fantastic. I wasn't actually there that night. I was home playing stay-at-home dad that week, but you know, from what I understood, residents really enjoyed the food, and it was a great event. So happy to have that. And then a couple other things. Oliver, I have a couple pictures from the resident mixer Oliver participated with up in the Sky Lounge a little bit ago. And that was a great event as well. You can see the witch there. It's on our Halloween display right now as well. I think that's compliments of Zoa Shumway, so thank you for that. Hopefully no one's getting too spooked by that little witch there, but that was a nice event. And then a couple pictures from our brunch buffet that we put on last weekend. Had one email say that was the best brunch ever. So, you know, look forward to holding another one of those next month and every month after that. And then last night we had our Eat Smart buffet, where we've been focusing on the blue zones across the world, and we were focusing on Loma Linda, California last night. We did kind of a fall theme, so once again, Oliver put together a beautiful display there. We had some maple glazed trout. Chef Ben made his own plant-based mac and cheese, and it was a real nice event. Ben and Jessica, our dietitian, gave a nice presentation beforehand. And we had about 135 residents come out for that last night, so that was a really fun time. Moving forward, as everybody knows, if you've looked in the packet from this past week, we do have a new version of the everyday menu coming out, which will begin on Sunday, October 28th, this Sunday. Some prices have increased on that. Well, we've kind of been talking about that over the year. We've tried to keep our prices down as much as we can, but we just had to, when looking at things, we had to raise some of those prices. We also removed some items from the menu. I know these are some favorites. I've already received emails about these. The yakisoba, the Louis salad are among the things that are removed, but those aren't going to be gone forever. Look for the yakisoba to be showing up as one of our weekly specials, probably on a monthly basis. Look for that Louis salad to maybe rotate back in and out of the menu. We're just trying to look at making things more streamlined in our kitchen, having all those items on the menu. There's a lot of prep that goes to it, a lot of, you know, items that we're prepping, and then sometimes they go to waste. And so we're just trying to really consolidate all that stuff and make for a better experience. One thing we are adding there is on the accompaniments. This has been kind of an ask for a long time, to bring back the little small salads as accompaniments on the menu. So that is showing up on there as well. So there are some things there. And, you know, like I said, these items aren't going to be gone forever. They will find their way back into the menu or back into our weekly specials. And, you know, we're always providing new items on those weekly specials. So I always encourage you to look at those. We did the trout almondine this week, and that was really popular. And so there's usually a really nice item on there as well. And then finally, some upcoming events we got going on. On Tuesday, we're going to have a nice Halloween buffet. If you look at the menu in the packet this week, it's kind of a fun menu with some spooky names attributed to the menu items there. We have our Thanksgiving buffet coming up at the end of November there. Look for a reservation event to be happening on that, probably the first week of November. And then we also are going to be putting on our first winemaker dinner, and that'll be in the Sky Lounge. We'll be on Thursday, December 7th. We're partnering with Brown Family Winery. It's a local winery, and so they'll have a representative out here talking about the wines. Chef Steve is putting together a really nice menu to pair with that wine. It'll be a smaller event, probably 30 to 40 people, and we'll be doing a reservation event for that probably the second week of November. So look for more information on that. And that's what I've got. So next up is Joan Hudson.
Hello, friends. So today I'm going to talk about, I have to hold it. Oh no, this is going to be hard. Okay, I want to talk to you today about infectious illness and communications. So let's take a little trip backwards. Okay, so COVID passed and into the future. So last spring, the health emergency guidelines ended. No, statewide. Cases here had drastically dropped almost to nothing in many cases. Masks were no longer required last spring through the summer, early fall. After 3 plus years, We've kind of become veterans in dealing with COVID. All right. It's not like the old days where we didn't know how infection spread, didn't know what to do about it. Everybody had to stay in their apartments, et cetera, et cetera. So we wanted to broaden the scope because we're living with COVID, just like we're living with RSV or the flu or a norovirus. So that necessitated a few alterations. So what's in a name? The name of the task force group that monitors contagious illness threats is now called the Bugs Be Gone Group? Probably not, huh? The COVID Capers Committee? Nah. The Community Health Task Force. Yay! Okay, who leads the Community Health Task Force? Is it Jeff Townley? Elvis? Lori Warfield Larson. Yay! Go back. Okay, who's on the task force? With our leader, Lori, as our chief operating officer, and who has a long background as the health officer here at Horizon House. Our friend, Findley Wallace, MD, who he's not the resident hag, he's the resident who is a member of the health advisory group. And then Brittany Hallett, who's our director of assisted living, and she's got a bunch of other numbers behind her, or another letters behind her name. She is a registered nurse. She has a Master of Science in Nurse Education, and she's a nurse with a infection control specialty. So she is an expert. So with those folks guiding us, the other members of the task force are Beth Barrett, Brenda Thompson, Brian Holtz, Brian Levitt, Christy Seymour, Erica Campbell, and yours truly. Oh, okay, I did this last time too. Erica, sorry. Erica Thrash Saul, our CEO. Erica, my apologies. Okay, it's just a little under pressure trying to get this done. So with that, have communications protocols changed? So not really. What I will say is the task force no longer meets every week or sometimes twice a week. Because if there's nothing to, we don't want to meet about nothing, okay? Not to say that there's not nothing, okay? I'm talking about kind of the evolution of the group. The only difference in communication protocols is the frequency of what is needed and when. So, how do we notify you? Case counts are continually updated on HH Connect. Case counts continually updated on the K4 app. Written reports are done when needed. You don't want to read a blank piece of paper, so we do reports when the situation, a big outbreak, whatever, guidelines have to change, whatever important information needs to be conveyed. We will do written reports when needed that are emailed to all residents. Written reports when needed. Physical copies are put in the mailroom. All right? For those of you who don't look at email, there are always the written reports in the mailroom. We do digital and elevator signage, encouraging safe behavior, whatever it may be. Right now, it's encouraging you to wear masks in all public areas. I just want to take a moment on HH Connect because HH Connect is the home base for the most information. So you can go to, from the home page, here's a partial home page, you'll go to the well-being menu and click health updates. Here you will see the current case load. Right now we have a total of 3 active cases. Now 2, yay, did I get your update this morning? Okay, I'll get that updated, folks. But also, there's COVID information. The latest report, what to do if you were exposed, ordering free at-home test kits. Now, if we had an influenza outbreak, we would have another grid, or a norovirus outbreak, we'd have another grid, all right? So you can always go there. So, what's the problem? Do we have a problem? Well, hang on a second, let me turn my pages. Okay, so if you were out taking a stroll on the Serengeti and you saw a snarling lion, what would you do? Run. If you had a gun, you might use that, but nice lion. The thing is, you would figure out a way not to be eaten. Now, bear with me here. I am not a neuroscientist. I'm not a physician. I'm not a psychologist, and I don't play any of them on TV. However, I think there's a little bit of bearing. The amygdala over eons. So amygdala is this little almond-shaped dealy bob in our brains. It recognizes physical threats, sends you the signal that, oh my God, you have to react. You have to react. Get away from that lion. Okay. So it's very helpful for hundreds of thousands of years. Well, people as we know it today have only been who we are for a very short period of time. The amygdala today, the threat is not a lion. There's no lion. There's nothing chasing us, okay? However, we do have a prefrontal cortex that if we feel threatened, that's emotional regulation, planning, all of those good things, executive functioning. However, that old amygdala is still there and it can hijack our prefrontal cortex and make us feel like, oh my God, what's going on? It's still like a lion. So what happens when we react? When we react, and I'm speaking about all of us, we react out of emotion, stress, immediacy. You know, that prefrontal cortex isn't activated as well. So how does this relate to COVID or other contagious illnesses? So what I would like to say first is nothing is more important than the safety of the resident community. Infectious illness is serious. You have every right to be concerned. However, when we react, crisis, it's almost, and just, take this with a grain of salt, it almost feels sometimes like there's a group amygdala. Email inboxes explode. Different resident council people, we as administrators, certainly Lori and I, start getting emails. Demands get made. Rumors spread. Monitoring behavior increases. So I noticed that, there doesn't seem to be an update to the grid, just lots of monitoring behavior. And a lack of trust is displayed. Now, I'm not saying that this happens with everybody, but when there is an outbreak, for example, like we had on October 10th, it totally isn't the end of the world. We have not fallen apart. What we want to do is to continue to serve you to the best of our ability. So we want to respond, not react. When we have to react to resident reaction, it is hugely time consuming because you'll spend hours crafting a response to somebody of stuff that's already out there, stuff we already do, why we can't do thus and so. It does detract from our ability to respond thoughtfully, not only in communications, but to do the work if there's an outbreak. It diminishes time available for other important work. And so, in effect, without denying at all your right to be concerned, is we request that you trust in the tried and true, the methods of communication about a situation that have worked for us for over 3.5 years. That's it. Thank you for listening, and please stay healthy. Up next is Deanna Nelson and Sally Wren. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. Okay, I'm going to harangue you a bit too right now. We're going to talk about programs and signups. I know you're tired of hearing me say this, but I'm going to give you a little sermon. See these earrings? I bought these in a CC this summer, and I think they give me the permission to sermonize a bit. When we changed our year end in the beginning of the year, we changed the time for program signups. Program signups are now in November, not in March. Many of you are used to signing up in March. No more. Budgets and program signups are in November. And in the first week of November, you'll have a program book in your cubby. Emily is working on that now. And on November 16th, there will be a program fair. And it will be in Anderson Hall, and you can talk to all the committee chairs about their programs and ask them what it's about and get the information you need. All committee leaders should have gotten instructions for the program fair from their coordinators. If you're a committee chair and you haven't gotten that, contact Ned Lang. And while we're waiting for all this excitement, I'm going to bring up HH Connect again. You can go to HH Connect to find out what programs there are. This has been such a wonderful benefit, I think, for us. Joan and Emily agreed to put this on HH Connect this year. They did a wonderful job, and we're thrilled to have it. And it's quite easy to use. So for those of you who don't know what to do, you click on the Residence Council link, and we happen to be first. And then here you see the different information you can get under Residence Council. There's committee activities, there's leadership, governing and financial, and Monday market. So you would go to committee, click on committees and activities. It will bring up all of the committees and activities under their, whatever, under their descriptions, under their groupings. And each grouping has a coordinator that works with those committees. And then you pick the committee that you want to look at, and you click again on that committee. And here's the election forums committee, and it tells you who the chair is, her contact, and what the committee does. So if you want to sign up anytime during the year, you can do that. This year, I would say we'll wait until signups next month, but it's come March and you decide, oh, I really should have signed up for the election forums. That sounds great. You can call the committee chair and you can sign up. You have to sign up every year. And the reason for that is that we create a new list every year for the chairs. And they get that list after the signups, and they put you on their email list, and they contact you about their meetings. Let's see. I guess that's all I have to say. So if you want to start early, go to HH Connect, take a look at what we have. There will be some changes. Emily is working on updating it now. There are some minor changes. There are some committees that are new and some aren't there, but you can take a look and be prepared for the sign up fair. And I hope you all sign up for something and we have a good year next year. Thank you. And now for Sally and the ERF.
Thank you. It is so good to be here again and see all of you. Good morning, dear neighbors. Halloween is upon us. Thanksgiving is just around the corner. Where did the year go? The perfect time of year, Thanksgiving, to say thank you to our incredible employees with our holiday monetary gift in appreciation for their year of service and support. We currently have about 245, so maybe today that's 247 employees, and that is up. The 2 new would make it 30 new employees. So we do have to look at our budget up from last year. We have less than 3 weeks until our fundraising year ends, November the 15th, our last day. Any checks received after that time will go into next year's program. If you are transferring funds from your IRA, your individual retirement account this year, please be sure to instruct them to have your name on the check, because when it isn't, we have another mystery story. So, make sure that it's made out to the Residents Council of Horizon House. Your checks need to be placed in our employee slot, employee recognition slot in the mailroom, which is just, if you walk straight ahead, you'll see the copier, and across from that is our slot. And for all of you elves, you'll see green arrows headed right to it. So thank you for that. Many of you have already given, and we extend our appreciation and thank you. Wilbur and friends also say thank you, especially new friend, Miss Teddy, with her big thank you heart. To those who have not taken the opportunity to give as yet, a second letter will be placed in your cubby by our ghosts on October 31st. Please remember, no gift is too small or too large or not appreciated. All gifts make such a difference for our employees and are so appreciated by them. They will be given their gift checks at the holiday party, which is December 3rd, and you'll hear more about that from that committee. But again, that's such a highlight for employees. I know I was talking to one employee who missed it last year, and she was so excited this year she gets to come. And so also, we know how much they appreciate it because we all saw that tree downstairs with so many thank yous. So any check that you put in is always so beautifully received. Again, thank you for your incredible generosity. Horizon House to me is such a beloved community, and it makes my heart sing to be a part of this community. I thank you. And I'm sorry, I don't know who's next. Oh, it's our Erica. Thank you, Erica.
All right, so we are going to have a few announcements and some bright spots. So we have the Halloween party coming up, which I am extremely excited about. And so those who are participating in the parade will meet in the lobby by 2:45 p.m. The party starts at 3 in Anderson Hall. The MCs are the dynamic duo, Andrew Hill and Mark Munden. So we know it's going to be a blast. Now to the pumpkin contest. And so, again, on your way out, make sure that you take a peek at those pumpkins. You're going to vote in the Fireside Lounge now until Monday at noon. And so the categories are spookiest, cutest, funniest, and most unique. And the winners will be announced at the Halloween party. Okay, so as Joan talked about COVID, it is that time for us to do our best effort at being protected from being really ill. So the COVID booster clinic is going to be coming up, and the consent forms are due on Tuesday, October 31st. So we'll be getting candy and turning in our consent forms on Halloween. The forms are in the mailroom, and they can be returned and completed to the black box. And the signups start November 1st at 9 a.m. Yes. Okay. Lori, is there any other information you want to share? Okay, good. All right, so then we've got master planning and West Tower presentations coming up, so save the date. For all of you who have questions and really want to do a deeper dive in understanding what's going on with master planning, I know this has been a very long time since you've had an update. There's going to be a presentation for residents Monday, December 11th from 9:30 till 11:30 a.m. here in Anderson Hall. And then there'll be another update specifically on the West Tower for residents on December 18th from 9:30 to 11:30 at Anderson Hall. And both of these events will be presented by Methuen, and it'll have a Q&A session afterward. So I hope that everyone attends. And Amanda started to talk a bit about the resident experience survey. And so those surveys are going to be distributed via email if a resident has an email address. But if you do not have an email address, there'll be a letter placed in your cubby in the mail room with instructions on how to complete the survey. The survey will open Friday, November 3rd, and it will close on November 17th. And so see the alert for more details. There'll be an article. And so we're looking forward to hearing your feedback. This is your opportunity to share your experience with us. And it is that time again, small group sessions. It'll be my second opportunity. And so those small group sessions are going to be Halloween from 9 a.m. till 10:30. We're going to be busy on Halloween. And then again on Wednesday, November 1st from 10 and at 3:30 p.m. The dates and times are also posted in the alert and on HH Connect and in the admin board in the mailroom. As you all know, these are small groups, they're limited. So the RSVPs are required, and you know those RSVPs go to Beth. And Beth is going to be collecting agenda items based on your interest. One of the things that we do know we want to understand more is what you want to learn more things about in terms of our upcoming expansion projects and master planning. So you're going to have the information, but I want to be able to inform Methuen on the things you really want to go deep into. So if you can come to the small group session, thinking about some of the things that you want to know more about. We're going to have the big session, and then we're going to have some smaller sessions if people want to understand how are these projects being financed, if people want to understand specifically what are going to be some of the environmental practices that we are using and the different types of materials we're going to be using. That can be another small group session. So we really want to make sure that we're giving you information that's the most meaningful to you. All right, on to our bright spots. I wanted to share our own Ildiko, who leads our activities and experiences for residents up in assisted living, won a scholarship through Leading Age Washington. And so if you see Ildiko, please congratulate her. Well deserved. And I am going to, before we show, we've got a wonderful video to show, but I do want to take a moment before we show this video to really talk about the season of Thanksgiving. We'll not have a fireside chat, in the month of November. And so as we enter this season of Thanksgiving, I'm reflecting on what I'm grateful for. And I am grateful for being selected to lead this outstanding organization. I moved across country and quickly had a sense of belonging here. And what do I mean by a sense of belonging? So I love the definition that a sense of belonging involves more than simply being acquainted with other people. It is centered on gaining acceptance, attention, and support from members of the group, as well as providing the same attention to other members. So it's based on reciprocity. And as many of you know, we have quite a few people with psychology backgrounds in the room. The sense of belonging is really fundamental to humankind. It's how we organize ourselves. It's a protective factor against stress and other behavioral issues. It's knowing that we have support and we're not alone. And a sense of belonging makes us more resilient in difficult times. I am extremely grateful to the residents at Horizon House, the team members, and the board who have given me that sense of belonging. And so I want us together to focus on belonging with intentionality. We'll be in a season of significant change over the next 4 years. When I was 5 years, I was thinking about it. During our expansion project, we're going to go through 2 election cycles, and we all know that can be a very stressful and polarizing time in an already stressful environment. So having that sense of belonging and being really intentional about making sure that everybody who lives here feels that they belong will be important. We'll also be welcoming 151 additional households into our Horizon House family, as well as new residents who are going to be moving in all along the way, new employees and new board members. But I'm looking forward to working together to strengthen our core value so that every stakeholder of Horizon House will have the same opportunity to feel the sense of belonging that I have. And so now we want to show this just wonderful video that was done in assisted living through a collaboration with 2 new employees who really are already demonstrating that they have that spirit of belonging.
Actually, because we can only show the video in here and the folks on HHTV will not be able to watch it, we are going to do Q&A first if there's any questions, and then we'll stop the live stream, and then we'll show the video in the room.
Thank you, Beth. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to anybody who has any questions that they want or comments that they want to make.
About anything we talked about today. Okay, I see Karen.
Comment. This has been one of the best fireside chats ever. It's gone snappy. We've got information, not a lot of chit chat. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I have a comment for Amanda. I take issue with one comment that you made. This is my home. I am not a customer.
Can I comment back? Okay, I wanted to use the customer reference. Oh, this way. Oh, okay. I wanted to use the customer reference for clarity as far as my role goes. So yes, it was a very deliberate title here that I'm the director of resident experience, because you're absolutely right. And we are working in your home. So we want to make sure though that we are providing the utmost service for you, our residents. And so, but I have had a lot of questions about what does resident experience mean? And I felt like paralleling it to a customer experience makes it just kind of a more clear connection as far as that is. But you are correct. You are our residents, not our customers.
All right.
Anyone else? No?
So if there are no more questions, we will turn it over to the video.